Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 0. United were sublime. United battered them in all intents and purposes. Maybe a need for more clinical edge up front. Some big chances missed also. But another win. 11 goals scored since Manchester United's last defeat. That's one loss in the last 13 games since Manchester City humbled them at the Etihad. The patterns, the ideology, the style of play is clear from Erik Ten Hag. And he is doing this with a squad that's got an illness going through it, no recognized number 9 striker, and of course, led by the Glazers, the worst owners of a top 6 side in the Premier League. And still we see the consistent improvements from this team, from our manager. And I'm saying this now, and I stand by it. Tottenham, you better improve. Newcastle, you better maintain what you're doing. Liverpool, you've got Gakpo, go and buy more. Because this Man United team genuinely could make the top 4 when everybody wrote us off. This team could genuinely get back into the Champions League this year. They are good enough too. Additions are needed. But Erik Ten Hag is here. He is cooking. He is creating. And it is undeniable. Marcus Rashford back to his best. And I still think there's more to come from this young man. Another goal, another assist, another excellent performance from him. Varane back in the team. Rolls Royce at the back. Delightful. Casemiro. I'm almost speechless when it comes to Casemiro. His ball retention is second to none. He's a world-class ball winner. He can pass the ball and create when he needs to. His decision-making is exemplary. And someone tweeted me during the game and they said that they still think it's a bad signing because Casemiro is a win-now player and Man United are not ready to win now. By the time we get to a point where we might be able to challenge, he'll be past it. And I thought to myself, I understand the logic, but where I think it's wrong is you need players like Casemiro to get us back into Champions Leagues, to give us the opportunity to win trophies, the smaller trophies, the domestic trophies, on our way to becoming title contenders and maybe Champions League winners once more. Ten Hag needs backing. He needs the Glazers to spend more money. He needs consistent backing over 2, 3, 4 seasons. There's no doubt. But to deny this Man United team haven't improved, to deny this Man United team are not on the up and up after a terrible start to the season would be wrong. Would be massively, massively wrong. They're coming for Tottenham. They are 1 point behind Tottenham Hotspur with a game in hand. And Spurs fans have been talking about how good this season's been. Spurs fans have been talking about why aren't we getting more praise? Why aren't we being discussed more in the same way as Arsenal? Why are we being challenged in any way, any shape, or any form? We've got one of the best managers in the world. We've got X, we've got Y, we've got Z. You're a point behind Man United, who some of you said wouldn't even finish in the top 8 this year. That some of you said if you finish in the top half, you'd be lucky. Man United will win their game in hand. They'll go in front of Tottenham. They'll be in that 4th place spot. I'm more worried about Liverpool coming from behind. Liverpool are too damn good to write off. I'm more worried about Newcastle, who are reportedly going to spend big in January, than I am Tottenham. Man United are not a guarantee for top 4, but they are in that race for a Champions League position because Ten Hag is here, because of how good he is as a manager, how good he is as a coach. The quality he's getting out of Rashford. The player he identified in Casemiro, who the world and his dog challenged and still do to a certain degree. Sensational from the manager, how he's developing this team. The style of play is noticeable to everybody. And there's some other little gems scattered about as well. Garnacho coming on and you see his abundance of quality. We still have little Lissandro to come back after winning the World Cup to shore up that back line. No more sure centre-back as well. But I'm a very pleased and very happy Manchester United fan today. I cannot deny it. I think we were absolutely brilliant. And as I've already said, we are coming for that Champions League position. Spurs, you got to improve. Newcastle, you've got to maintain it. Liverpool, you better go out and buy. You better keep playing like you did yesterday because this Man United team, I'm not saying we're back because Man United are only back when they're challenging for Premier League titles. That is the standard. but we are on the way. The only thing that scarpers this for Man United is poor ownership and poor running of the club. Not continually backing him, pulling the rug from under Ten Hag's feet, not letting him sell or buy the players that are right for his system and more right for the bank balance and the commerciality. Don't mess this up now. We may sell. We may sell, get new owners, and it's all going to be fine. I've seen people challenging Ten Hag during the World Cup period. Fanboys of Ronaldo. People who thought that the Donnies of this world would get more game time. The people that are angry that the Rashfords and the Brunos are the stars of this team. Well, of course they were going to be. Because football is about efficiency and outputs and delivering and not about how good it looks. Not as a first instance. Winning is about deliverance. If you can win and look good at the same time, utopia. Ten Hag will manage that. Get behind this man because he is legit. He is legit. A winning mentality is being created. A togetherness is there. And we're seeing our better players come to the fore. And I also want to mention Anthony Martial as well. Because Anthony Martial is... Listen, his career looked over. And he's got those injury problems. And I worry about his injury problems. But Anthony Martial, for me, this season, when fit, has been excellent in a Man United kit. Now, I still think, it's one of my questions I posted out on Twitter, I still think Man United need a recognised number 9. I still think Man United need someone who is, I still think Martial's better when he comes in from the wide positions. And with Garnacho coming through, with Rashford on fire, with maybe Sancho even coming back, does Martial have a future? I want to pose that question to you. But what I won't deny is that man has also stepped up this season when he's been called upon. I just hope that he can stay fit. I hope that he can keep delivering. That's what I really hope and pray for, because he deserves a lot of credit today as well. But it was another brilliant performance, another clean sheet for Man United. And listen, goal difference looks poor, just +3. But when you actually break it down and you start to deep Man United season, I'm just looking at it now. We conceded 6 goals in our first 2 games when we were awful. We conceded 6 against Man City. That's 12 goals. Of the 20, we've conceded 12, and then 3 against Villa. So 15 of the 20 goals we've conceded came in 4 very poor performances. And there'll be a few more of those games. There will still be those anomaly poor performances for a while to come, because United we've only just started our journey. We are essentially 15 league games into our journey. Some will do points comparisons with last year or the season before. Go, we're not quite as good. We're not quite this. I say we're better than we've looked since the year that Jose won us 2 trophies, stroke coming second the following year. The football looks better. We're more consistent. We're winning more and we're improving. And most importantly, it's the atmosphere, the feeling, and the attitude of the players is the best I've seen it in 5 to 6 years. Loads more hard work needed. Things aren't finished. Man United haven't reached the top yet. So let's not get our knickers in a twist. Let's not pretend that we're back. We can compete with Arsenal. We can compete with Man City. I'm not even going to say we're scary yet, because I think we're a step behind that. More investment is needed. More consistency is needed for us to look scary. New ownership, maybe. But this Man United team is on the up and up. They are genuine contenders for the top 4. Everyone that wrote them off, including myself, because I didn't think we'd make it, is in the mud because they look legit. They absolutely do in terms of top 4 competitiveness. And I want your thoughts and I want your feelings. But smash the like and the share button, people. We're talking Rashford. We're talking Casemiro. We're talking another Man United win. And who's going to make it into those Champions League positions. We're going to share the link in the live comment section for you to phone in tonight and have your say. Also, if you want to speak about yesterday's games, Chelsea's games, feel free to do so. But there has to be a top 4 stroke top 6 connection. I don't really want to speak transfers unless it's about the top 4 race or the title race. Find the link. Don't come on with any dead ass questions, because you'll get cut off quick, bruv. Man ain't got no patience for that anymore. Come on with something to say. Only fan channel that allows that to happen. Let's have a little look here. Some super chats that have come through. Mark says, Terry, we need to talk about Anthony. Unfortunately, not good enough. Do you know what, Mark? I'm going to say this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. You can if you want. I'll read out any comments you put in. Anthony should have finished the goal today. Anthony wasn't great, but Man United were. When Arsenal play well, we don't start the show and go, yeah, you were brilliant, but we need to talk about the injury problems with Emil Smith-Rowe. It isn't right, is it? It's not good enough that he ain't playing. You know, Man City don't win titles and we all sit there and go, yeah, forget the title. No, that's too big. Man City just win 5-0. Yeah, but let's talk about how bad Grealish has been. Come on now. We can talk about Anthony, in my opinion, on another day. Or maybe you can ask us a question about it. But I'm not going to sit here and start slagging him off when my team were just brilliant in an important game. But I appreciate the super chat, my friend, and we'll never ignore them. But for me, I ain't doing it. 3 goals, 3 points, another clean sheet, 60 million on Casemiro. People said we were overspending, Terry, but I just like the mentality in the squad right now. Listen, overspending on Casemiro has to be the worst football take I've seen in a long time. I mean, I knew he was good. I didn't personally think he was going to be this good either. I don't know why. I knew he'd be good, but as good as I'm seeing from him, next level performer. Knock, knock, knock on Conte's door is what Alienator's got to say. Casemiro is undoubtedly the best CDM in the world. My friend, I think that is undeniable. Ball retention, ball winning abilities, eye for a pass, and his decision making is so good. He doesn't panic. He doesn't make the wrong choice very often at all. It's so intriguing to watch. Sometimes it's just the right header, anticipating how the team are going to attack us, and he wins that ball back and sprays a nice ball out to the left or the right. He just keeps the team ticking. He's like Michael Carrick, but better. He's Michael Carrick with athleticism. I'm not saying he's the greatest athlete of all time, but he's no slouch. Imagine Michael Carrick with the ability to sprint. That's what he reminds me of. A better version of Michael Carrick gives you one of the best CDMs of the last 30 years in football. Because Michael Carrick was one of the best midfielders in world football for a decade. Just wasn't recognized as that by too many because he wasn't fashionable. Casemiro actually is. This guy is legit. Luke Shaw looked really comfortable at centre-back. His positioning differently was pretty good. Yeah, look, he had his hand held by Varane today. Nottingham Forest are not the best team in the world. That's a great... Yeah, I wouldn't want to see him at centre-back against City or Arsenal. But yeah, Luke Shaw did very, very well today, playing in that position for the first time in his career in a back four. So fair play to him. We are better without Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes. You've only got to go and look at the statistics on this in terms of the game outputs. You got to go back and look at how he played when we beat Spurs. Didn't come on. How we performed the way at Chelsea. Didn't win, but we performed very, very well. He then came back into the team and we were scraping 1-0 wins, struggling to score, got battered by Aston Villa. He gets dropped out the team again. We battered Villa. Played very well against Fulham. We nicked the win at the last minute, but we're by far the superior team. Outclassed Burnley, outclassed Nottingham Forest. Now, people will say, yeah, but it's only Forest and Burnley. Yeah, we were struggling with Ronaldo up front when we were playing Sheriff, bruv. We were playing Woody FC, Toy Story settings, and we were struggling. I love Ronaldo, legend of the game. But him leaving is a godsend. Does need to be replaced in the long term, though. I don't think we can get away from that. Viewers, make sure like buttons are being smashed. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace right about now. Yeah, Forest were poor. No one's going to deny that. But you don't hear me sit here and say, well, Arsenal's 5-0 win means nothing because Forest are poor. You don't hear me say that, do you? So I'm going to praise my team as well. Let's keep the same energy on the Football Terrace, please, because I'm certainly going to tear it. Don't gas it up, Terry. Wayne Hennessy was drinking in the Forest goal. Man was awful. Yeah, I mean, I expect that from you, my friend, to say don't gas it. I'm praising my team for a good performance. I'm saying we can make the top 4. What more gas have I applied? None. Don't sell fans they can't be happy with wins. Otherwise, there's no point watching football. It becomes a madness if you're doing that, my friend. It becomes a madness. Partey is nowhere near Casemiro. What has Partey done in the biggest stage at club level, Champions League? Listen, I think that Partey is a top-class DM. I'm not going to start slagging him off. Casemiro has proven himself to be better career-wise. But Partey is now at a point with Arsenal where they're going to move into another echelon of the game, title contention, and then into the Champions League. And I think a lot of people's opinions on Partey will start to change over the next 12 to 18 months as well. But Casemiro, career-wise, Partey's a way off him. Those four Champions Leagues, they weigh heavy. They weigh heavy, plus La Ligas and all the other trophies as well. So, yeah, I mean, I swear when Partey left, it was the following season that Atletico won it as well. Partey's great. Very, very good player. But when it comes to legacy, you got to put your medals on the table. That's how it is done. Has he got? He got 5. Sorry, 5. Has he got 5 Champions Leagues? Oh yeah, he joined this year, didn't he? Sorry, I'm dumb. I'm being dumb. Literally, the World Cup's got my brain all confuzzled. I feel like it's a new season. Sorry. Yes, you're right. 5 Champions Leagues. My mistake. KJ and Cam are here with me now. Then we're going to do some of your calls. We've got DR, Abdul, Josh, all backstage ready to go. How's it going, gentlemen? How's it going?
2 games straight. It's beautiful. You're on mute, KJ.
Yo, I said the same thing. Beautiful, my friend. Beautiful scenes. And no, the maddest thing is we should have had 6. If we're being honest, we should have had 6, maybe 7, with the chances we had. And I'm happy because as Man United fans, since Jose left, all we've really been asking for is a performances to go up, a style that looks like it can go on and build something, and just to be consistent. And people say Man United have been inconsistent. We actually haven't. Not really. Like we've only lost a few games. We've conceded a lot of amounts in like single games, obviously Man United and Man City, sorry. But other than that, we are performing well better than anyone thought we would do, performing well better than even Man United fans thought we'd do. And we need to let Ten Hag cook. He is the chef in the kitchen. Bring him in the ingredients, and man is beating Gordon Ramsay in a cook-off. He is. I believe in this guy so much that I'm happy. I'm happy with the players that we've got, the performances. Rashford, Casemiro, Varane today, all excellent. Shaw with a very good performance. Aaron Bissaka, what the hell has happened to him? He disappeared for like 6 months, and now he's back again, and he looks competent. He hasn't looked competent in a year. And this is all down to Ten Hag, Van der Gaag, what's his name now? The old ginger dude. What's his name? The coach.
Steve McLaren.
McLaren, there we go, mate. We've got McLaren, Benny. Yeah, Benny. Like, and our set piece coach. Listen, we're building something. We're building something nice. We're building something.
You know what's beautiful about it too? Is the fact that we're seeing the same thing, even though we're moving players in and out. That's really big, right? Like, it's not the style of play is the same. We've seen it drop levels when it's Scott in there instead of Casemiro. We've seen the levels drop, but the style of play and what we're trying to do is very clear now. It's not, you see Aaron Wan-Bissaka come in, he's bombing down the channels now. He's doing things that Dalot would normally do, not as good, but he's still doing it, right? All the movements, everything is, it's been so long that we could say, like you said, where you look at a team and you're like, look at the style of play. Like Luke Shaw came in and played left center back like he was Mark Martinez today. You know, it was like you don't want him there all the time. But the fact that him and Casemiro both were able to step into the defense and we didn't look very different. We looked still strong. We looked stout. For me, that's what's made me so happy watching a lot of what's going on with the team, because you're like, it is very clear what's happening, that it's the coaching. It's the players. We always knew we had decent players. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Rashford, Martial, like these guys are bad players. Van de Beek came in today. People, these are not bad players. People for a long time were saying, "Oh, you need all these new players." It's like, no, we needed some for sure. Casemiro, absolutely brilliant. Like, he's the best TM for me in the league, and it's not even close. Like, if we're gonna talk about how down everybody was on Rashford, the guy bossed the game for the first half. Second half, not as much, but the first half, he was unplayable. That goal, we saw training, like that's off the training ground. That is without a doubt. They practiced that many a times, executed to perfection. And now you're seeing the decision-making that everybody said, Rashford doesn't have a football brain. No, he just didn't have a manager. He just didn't have someone to teach him, to tell him, these are the things you do in these positions.
At the coaches he has had since he broke out, the only proper coach he had was Van Gaal, and he was there for a year and he was gone. You know what I mean? Jose is a now, like a now manager. If you're not old enough, if you're not quick enough, you're not like to play his way, he's just not going to bother. Ollie, we all know he tried. He's just not good enough. He's had an actual coach now, and we're seeing the benefits. And not just a coach in terms of Van Gaal, Ten Hag, but also Benny McCarthy, an actual striking coach with him to help him with his positioning, with his finishing, heading. It's wonderful to see, and credit goes to Marcus Rashford, because I know many people on here were coming at you, Cam, coming at me, Terry at times, for backing Marcus Rashford, saying there's a player there.
I don't have to apologize to anybody.
Now we're seeing that this is, and the thing is, this is base level Rashi. Let's not get it twisted. This ain't him at his peak. This is base level of Rashford, and I'm excited to see what these guys can get out of him. Like, honestly, people are chatting crap on this guy's name for way too long, and I'm happy he's doing what he's doing.
Well, I think that the coaching element is really key. And I think on top of that, we have to look at the way the club is being run. And the reason I always bring this up is because you look at Chelsea, change of ownership, change of manager, chaos because players don't know why they're there. I'd signed for Lampard under Roman. I now have Graham Potter under Todd B. This isn't where I want to be. It takes time to settle that down. Newcastle was the other way. It's almost, look, we're kind of here, decent money, having ice baths in paddling pools, club falling apart. Now the standards are so high at Newcastle, everybody's up their game, everybody's working harder, and the turnaround of their football club has been mesmerizingly quick. But it all feeds into the same thing that I've been preaching for on the Terrace for 5, 6, 7 years straight. It's about how you're run. Ten Hag's doing a very good job, but it's because in the short term, the club have allowed him to cook, bring his own people in. The fact they let him get rid of Ronaldo the way they did, the fact they backed him in the Ronaldo debate, I hate saying this, but he's brilliant from the Glazers. That's, in terms of as an individual decision, is brilliant. More of the same is needed. If the next, what he did with Marcus Rashford's form has improved partly because of coaching and his own attitude and behavior. But a key decision was in the summer. He wants a new deal. Instead of just saying, oh, Rashford, there's 350 grand a week, just have it. He's been told, we'll do the contract extension, but you have to show us that you are good enough to move the needle for the club. Otherwise, there's no new deal. And as I said in the summer, if Rashford was going to demand, pay me 350 or I'm going to leave and go to PSG, let him go. That ain't the right attitude. The attitude you wanted is what we've had, which is, don't worry about the new deal right now. I'm going to prove to you I'm good enough for a long-term new deal, and I'm good enough to make Man United title contenders again. And he's doing it right now. That is how winning is done at the elite level, is by having the right standards in the beginning. It's actually more important than patterns of play, style of football, because none of that matters without a solid foundation to begin with. My only fear, and I've said it many times with other managers, is that we don't get the right owners in or the Glazers stay, and 18 months in, they pull the rug from under the feet of the manager, as it were, because then everybody doesn't care again. Right now, you can see the standards raising. You can see there's a togetherness within this team. I'm not putting it in the level of peak Liverpool or City of recent years or where Arsenal are right now. We're in the early stages. The burning embers are there. You can see the green shoots of success. And I am excited. And how we know Man United are looking better is by the reaction of rivals online, telling me that Willy Boley was onside. It's like the fact that you're even tweeting it tells me you're shook. I had people tweet me saying, why are you praising Rashford? It ain't like he does it against big teams. Saying that about Rashford is a madness. And this is the thing. They can see that United. Yeah. And then you get this craziest thing as well, is like you get this kind of this from rivals where they're like, yeah, but what you won? Yeah, but we're not saying we're back. We're not saying we're the best team in the league. We're excited because we're improving. I'm going to maintain the standards that are needed. The only downside to today is I was annoyed again with the Man United players for not giving Bruno his GA, because that man set up like, do you know what's crazy? Like people always say, what does he do? This man creates so many
most chances in the Premier League. The most chances from open play in the Premier League right now belongs to Bruno Fernandes. So everybody talking, listen, I'm not comparing them, but everybody talks about KDB. Yes, he's the best in the league. We know that. But Bruno is one of the best. He's right there. Like, so the people in our fan base that are like, oh, Bruno has to go, he's wasteful, he's this. I'm like, not only does the eye test now show it when Ronaldo's not there, because it's so clear, and it hurts me to there was just a clear, when Ronaldo's on the pitch, we have to find Ronaldo, we have to get Ronaldo the ball. It has to revolve around him. The moment Ronaldo left, all of a sudden, we got to see Bruno be exactly who he was before. He looks for everybody, every option he takes. That one shot at goal, like, listen,
that long shot is, again, that is Bruno madness. Like, that is
Bruno madness.
He's gonna do it though. He's going to do it.
You can't hate him for that stuff, because you're like, he sees things that we don't. He tries things that most people don't try, and because of that, he puts our players in the best positions to score. And today, we saw it with Anthony. We saw it with a bunch of players. All had shots.
And bruv, that Rabona pass First time as well. All right, listen. Not many players in the Premier League can do that, let alone try it. And Bruno Fernandes did it, and it wasn't like it was like it was clean. And Fred got into the end of it. I was so hoping we would score from that because that was so beautiful. But yeah, Bruno's doing well. He's losing the ball less. The thing is with Bruno, because his mistakes are so visible, like it's not like a discreet mistake. It's a mistake. You know what I mean? He will do it so visibly that it just sticks in people's brains. But today, clean on the ball, kept the ball well, made the right decisions, and that's all we want from Bruno. The goals will come. People are gonna start cussing him for his goals. Where's his goals at? They're dried up. No, he's actually slowed it down to help his teammates score more goals. And guess what? He should have way more assists than he actually does because our teammates right now are not as clinical as they can be.
Well, he should have shot instead of passing today.
Garnacho should have had a goal. Like Fred should have had a wait. Did Fred have a chance before that?
Anthony was the one where he shot, but he was selfless. And normally Bruno, the pass he puts that in no problem. But he was like, I see you coming down the wing, open, easy. Doesn't score obviously, but like that. Those are the things that he's doing now that people are like, oh, where's the goals? It's like, all right, well, it's one or the other. You say he either makes the right decision and passes it to Anthony, or he scores that goal. I don't care either way. It was the right. Whatever he would have done in that situation would have been fine by me.
Listen, and everyone knows I'm a big fan of Bruno Fernandes, and I've never been someone there was a time where I felt he should have been dropped from the team when his form was poor, and even a few times in the early stages under Ten Hag, it was like he wasn't good enough. Let's give somebody else a go, and he did. And go back to those opening few games, he had a few times where he was on the bench, but he came on straight away and delivered. Joint most amount of chances created today, and even the chances in the Premier League to really break it down and be fair. Most chances created, but then big chances created. KDB does have 14 to Bruno's 10, but he's still the second highest in the league of big chances created. So if we're going to, and then after that, like Trent on 8, Trippier on 8, Odegaard on 8. Crazy. He's quite high up on the joint 6. Haaland on 7. In terms of big chances, Harry Kane on 6. This guy is legit. And I think with Casemiro behind him, and I said this in the summer, with Casemiro behind him and Christian Eriksen there, you've got two players that have much better ball retention, and they're a great foundation and base for Bruno to work from. And that's what Bruno didn't have last year. And I know Fred scored today, but he's gone from having McFred as his foundation to Casemiro and Christian Eriksen. And maybe, who knows, by the end of next summer, if you threw a De Jong in there or an Enzo Fernandez, suddenly, I didn't get it right. Suddenly, you're looking at maybe a completely different level. But that's taking nothing away from Christian Eriksen. I still think he's better, slightly further.
We do need that deeper midfielder to go along Casemiro, but he's doing the job.
He's playing well with us, and I think when people say it annoys me when people are like, "Oh, you're comparing Bruno and KDB." It's like, well, who else am I going to compare him to? I'm not saying he's better. I never have once said that. But who else do you compare him to when you look at the numbers? You're like there's no other midfielder right now. I'm not going to compare him to Fabinho. I'm not going to compare him to Kaider. Like who I could compare?
You can compare him to that guy on the bench, that Betinho brother that we had apparently.
Technical issue there. These are the kind of comments I never really understand. Chances created stats and can't win a title, but that's because no team has ever won a title because of one person. You could have a talisman who is the key focal point. Most famous in Man United's history was Erik Cantona, 4 titles in 5 years. If he hadn't kicked racism out of football, it would have been 5 in 5. But if we had a striker who was scoring at maybe not Haaland's level because he's doing it abnormally, but scoring at Harry Kane level in the Man United team, if we would have had Casemiro and Varane level players for the past 3 or 4 years, a consistent approach under one coach, then maybe those goals and assists from Bruno would have led to trophies. But Bruno as an individual is doing enough. It's everybody else around him over the last 18 months to 2 years who hasn't. Bruno invariably, since he's been at the club, has delivered. It's about other people delivering. And the difference this year compared to others, which is why we're 1 win away from going into the top 4, why we're in a quarterfinals of a cup competition, while we're in the knockout stage of the Europa League, is because Bruno's delivering, Rashford's delivering, Casemiro's delivering, Martinez is delivering, Varane's been delivering. Anthony's done well. Garnacho's come on and started delivering. Man United fans, ask yourself this question. When was the last time we had a team where at any given time, every game, 4, 5, 6 players are all playing well in their position. It's a rarity for us. It's why City and Liverpool have done so well, because they've always got multiple players in form. And we've got a long way to go to get to their level. Let's not get twisted. But the signs are good. So I'm not going to slag off Bruno. Imagine like being angry at Bruno because he's delivering and others are not. And by the way, that's why some people hated on him. Some people hated Bruno because their favorite players were failing, their favorite players were flopping, and Bruno wasn't, and he was getting praised. We've got to get rid of this. Yeah, it's gone. It's all completely gone. There's no doubt about it. And yeah, big shout,
right?
this is still the funniest comment ever this year about Casemiro. Steady Eddie, Steady Eddie.
Sourness, you bro.
That's the crazy thing is we had that same problem with Van de Beek, and it was like once their Ten Hag came in, the Van de Beek Bruno thing stopped because they're like, guys, this is three managers. Like, what are you gonna say now? Like, it got to a point where people couldn't make that argument anymore.
No, literally, what it is? There's a reset happening at Man United, not just with the squad, not just with the behind the scenes and the structure, but also within the fan base. We're slowly going back to normal. We still got the remnants of people trying to hold on to the Stockholm Syndrome of pain, but people, let it go, enjoy the ride, and I guarantee you, Man United will make you smile again. They will.
Interesting stat as well about the Man United midfield. I'll have to get this verified, but I'm going to take Alex's word for this, that Man United are unbeaten when Erik and Casemiro and Bruno start together. Now, I'm just going to check the 2 games. I'm just going to check our defeats. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just going to check our defeats because then we'll know. So when we play,
definitely ain't it.
Hang on. Sorry, let me just go through this. Yeah. So when Man City beat us, we started with McTominay, not Casemiro. We played Real Sociedad in the you're right. We got beat by Real Sociedad and Bruno didn't start that game. And when we got beat by Villa, Bruno didn't start that game either. That was the game that Bruno Fernandes missed. You're absolutely right. So I just want to verify it. But there's something in that. We have played well when those 3 have been on the pitch together. And again, I didn't know that statistic, but it's an interesting one. But every game outside of that, we've looked pretty damn good. I can't even think of a game when you go through Casemiro starting matches. I think he started again in the Ammonia game next. You just go through these games. We're going to list them. So against Ammonia, away against Everton, the Newcastle game, should have won it in the last minute. Spurs, Chelsea, West Ham at home, Sociedad away, Villa in the League Cup, Fulham, and Burnley, and then today. All those games, we've been the better team in as well. So we've played well in those matches. But yeah, our midfield's been great. And I think it can only get better. And I know it's going to sound harsh, but I think there's improvements we can make on Christian Eriksen. I think you throw De Jong as an example into that role, and the midfield goes up another level, because the only thing that Eriksen doesn't have is the physicality to progress the ball. He can't run with it, where De Jong's pretty pacey and a little bit stronger. But Alex, thank you very much for sharing that. Let's do these super chats here. Then we're going to take some calls. City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and United top 4 for me. What do you boys think right now? Like, Cam, I'm going to come to you first. Can you see Man United making the top 4, Cam?
Yeah, I've said it I've been on that train for a long time. I said it, my big thing was if we got De Jong for sure, but then we got Casemiro, so it changed things, right? So I was like, I don't know how that's going to work. I'm not worried about us making top 4. I think it's going to be a fight. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but we will be in the top 4. I don't know who else is going to be there with us. I still don't know if Liverpool's making top 4, if I'm going to be completely honest. I think they just got a big hole to climb out of, right? Like it's a huge hole in my opinion when you think about how good everybody around them's playing. It's like we look good. Spurs are probably going to do what Spurs do, but then if Newcastle, who as much as it drives me nuts, and I've got to be completely transparent, they looked really good yesterday, right? So if these teams all keep playing really well, Liverpool has to make up ground somewhere. But I think United are going to make top 4.
Yeah, I can see us getting it. I can. It's not like I can't. I just believe we won't. And I've always, from the start of the season, I said when people say we're going to miss out by like 30 and 20 points and that foolishness, I was like, nah, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? It'll be tight. And I think we just miss out just because of the early start of the season. And that will literally be the only reason why we miss out. There's early games where we drop points and we weren't looking good, understandably, but the reason why we miss out. I can see Liverpool reaching that top 4 again. Klopp knows Klopp's got that magic when it comes to trying to get Liverpool in that top 4 when he needs it. And I actually think Newcastle might do it this year. The way that they're playing, the owners that they've got, just the atmosphere around the club. I think they're going to do the thing that many clubs, like the West Hams, like the Leicesters, haven't been able to do in a very long time, which is break up the top 4 and have themselves in there. And I think Newcastle can do that this year. And if they go out and spend in Jan, I think they do it. So yeah, I think Man United missed out by like 3 points at the top 4 with Liverpool and Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, look, United got a chance. I've said it already in this video. I think we can do it. The transfer window's key. Newcastle and Liverpool are bigger threats to Man United than Tottenham. And that isn't a dig at Tottenham. I'm basing it purely on performances and know-how. And on performances, Spurs are going backwards. It's in the last 6 games, 3 defeats and 1 draw. And the performances haven't been good. I think for Man United, the next few games is key. Wolves away next on New Year's Eve. And then Burnley at home on the 3rd. And then we get the FA Cup break.
Burnley.
Burnley?
Bournemouth. Sorry.
Bournemouth. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You have to win those 2 games as a guarantee because the following 2 matches are at home to City and away to Arsenal. And look, we can beat City at home. Arsenal away is going to be hard because we know the Emirates is the fortress, whether people like it or not. But if we go into those 2 games with 6 points from our next 2 and come away with 4 points, madness. If we won't do 6, but come away with 4 points. Suddenly it may change everybody's thoughts and feelings. You will be over halfway through the season, maybe sitting in the top 4, maybe clear by a few points. And then you played then we've played 2 of the 3 hardest games of the season. Sorry, then we've played 3 of the 4 hardest games of the season for Man United. Arsenal away, City away, Chelsea away, and Liverpool away. After that, there's only Liverpool away to go, which are the hardest games for Man United historically. After that, you're kind of looking at a lot of the games where you're like, I fancy us. Like Spurs away, you could argue is hard, but we've got a good record at their stadium, even when we've been terrible. Even last year when we were crap.
You got to win that game though if you want to make top 4. You've got to win that one, right? So it's like I actually think we get two points from that Arsenal City game. We just get 2 for the. I feel good.
Yeah,
if we get 2 draws there,
it's going to be intriguing.
Wait, we've played Spurs, right? Did we win?
Yeah,
we beat them 2-0, and beating 2-0. Yeah,
we smashed them performance-wise as well.
Yeah, it was. Oh, that was our best performance.
I remember that.
Ronaldo walk-off. Those were Ronaldo walk-off.
Yeah. Notice how we are having consistent performances game by game. Casemiro, Rashford, etc. This is what we needed. This is what top teams have agreed. Get good owners, and God help the rest under Erik ten Hag. I think everybody agrees with that. Super gas about the win on my birthday, Terry. Could you give me a birthday shout out as well? Johnny Sins, happy birthday. Who's Johnny Sins? Am I not reading that right?
No, you're right.
I'm not going to tell you who Johnny Sins is.
Everyone in the chat knows who he is.
I'm just going to Google Johnny Sins.
Google him, Terry.
Don't do it.
What is he? What is he though? Just tell me what he is to say it, please. He's a porn star. Fair enough. Well done, bro. Congratulations on that. You probably got a big ding dong. Thoughts on Benito mystery? Yeah, it was a clerical error. These things kind of happen. You probably find they set up profiles and put in weird names and have them saved behind the scenes so they can quickly get new things updated. And someone must have pressed published.
So he was number 11 as well. So
yeah. They've removed a certain name and just wrote that name in. That's what it is. It's not just Rashford, but Bruno, Martial, Delo, McTominay, Fred, Lindelof, Shaw, and even Wan-Bissaka today have improved a lot. We're also seeing Varane, Casemiro, and Eriksen at their best. And you're right.
Can I just say quickly, people are stressed about Jadon Sancho. I am not stressed about Jadon Sancho. What is happening is Ten Hag reprogramming. He's sending him off to the training camp. He's doing up superhero training montage. He's getting in shape. He's getting his mind right, clearing his mind. And when he's back, he's going to be gold. Don't worry about Sancho, man. He's training. He's doing some Goku training. Goku training in the mountains, boys. Let's go.
The thing is about Sancho as well. Like, if he comes back and the manager can get out of him what he's done with Rashford as an example. It's cliche, but it's one of those cliches that's a cliche because it's true. It would be a new signing because we haven't ever seen the best of him. Andre here says, I can't wait to see what Ten Hag does with our new signing, Pettinho, or however it's pronounced. Already had that one there. Thank you for that. We're going to do some calls now from you, the viewers. We have shared the link a few times. I'll share the link in the live comment section again if you want to phone in and have your say. The link is there. Make sure you've got earphones in if you can. Saves on any echo in the background. We want to hear from some fans on your thoughts and feelings. Why aren't we talking about David De Gea? Don't know.
I mean,
did all right.
I will say, Ten Hag, you've done it again. You've proved me wrong, and De Gea, you've proved me wrong because I didn't think he would be able to adapt to the style of play, and to the best of his ability, he's adapted. I've had no issues with David De Gea this season, so fair play.
I've always been in the keep De Gea camp. I've always been like, I don't see the point in spending a ton of money to go get a keeper when you have David De Gea. I get it. People like he can't play. That's like, as long as what we're seeing with what we're seeing, there's no need to look anywhere else. The guy loves the club. He's been a great servant. He's still one of the best shot stoppers in the world. So, like, I've never been in the camp of like, De Gea's the big problem. Look at what Ramsdale did and all that. I'm like, good teams don't rely on their keepers full on. That you need a good keeper. It's like the most important position. Don't get me wrong. You have to trust your keeper, but they don't rely on them as heavy as bad teams, in my opinion. I think like you got an Alisson who was a very important piece for Liverpool to win the league, obviously, because their keeper was so bad. That's what people don't recognize is like the people that like the keeper that Liverpool had before Alisson was terrible. The keeper that City had before Ederson, wasn't it Joe Hart or somebody like before Ederson came in?
No, it was Claudio Bravo. Claudio Bravo.
Like, these guys were really, really bad. Like David De Gea is not that bad. Like that's where people I think need to understand. Like there's levels. Like,
I hear you on that. There was a comment here from Prime that I wanted to put up, and it's such we haven't really spoke about it, but it's true. Now I've lost it. Here it is. Every time Garnacho got the ball, we get excited, or was it only me? Nah, you're right. Like when he starts dribbling at players, we just know he's got the ability to beat a man, and because he's got that ability, it makes it entertaining. You're like, right, what's he gonna do next? He's so different to Rashford and Elanga, Anthony. He does what I thought Anthony was going to do more of, and that's run at people. Does that make sense? Like we need that. And he's young though, and I don't want him to be the star of the team yet, and the pressure to be on him. I kind of like the idea of him starting sporadically and being in and out the team and stuff like that. So yeah, a long way to go for him to go, but yeah, definitely an exciting player to have in. Nevertheless, right, we're going to go to some calls now, people. First on the show. We're going to go to, I don't know if this guy is about a doctor or if his wife's giving birth. He must be a doctor. It's Nick. What you saying, Nick?
Yeah, what's up, Terry? You always say that. Well, big up yourself, AJ.
Yo, what's up, brother? Are you in mid-delivery? Is this what's happening?
No, bro. I'm just working in the cardiac. The cardiac unit. The heart surgery. We take care of the heart.
I heard a rumor, Nick, you stopped surgery on someone just to talk to us. Is that true?
Well, this is a football terrace, man. You do anything to get on it, man.
I love it.
This is my show, man. This is my show.
I appreciate that, Nick. Give me your thoughts on United today.
Fantastic, man. Everybody play well. I can't complain about nobody on the pitch, bro. Luke Shaw look like he's a centre back forever, man. One but Saka, oh my God, that boy improved. The team really play well today. I'm happy with the team. No more crying, Hope they keep it up. All the problem is behind us now. We have no more number 7 to think about. We're just focusing on us. And I love what I see today.
Yeah, mate, I agree with you completely. I think a lot of people agree with you, Nick, in terms of the quality of the football was there, the improvements there. We're obviously going to maintain the standard. This isn't where we want to be. We want to be much higher up the league table. But it's been a long time, I feel, since we've consistently beaten the smaller teams than us.
I take what I get right now, trust me. I don't care who I beat. As long as I win, a win is a win. Whatever in front of you, you beat them. That's it. I don't care. I hear people talking about don't celebrate. Every win you get, you celebrate it. Because when you lose, you're sad.
Yes.
Yeah. When you lose, you're sad, bro. I'm from the West Indies. I remember the days of glory days of West Indies. You know what happened now? Every game we play, we lose. AJ laughing at me.
I hear
sorry,
you.
my friend.
Not enough people celebrate wins nowadays. It's weird. Nick, a pleasure to speak to you,
Nick,
my
what
friend.
island? Quickly, what island you from?
Jamaica, man.
Jamaica.
Of
Cool. I'm
course.
Canadian.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it,
There you
brother.
go.
Like it. Take care, Nick. All the best, my guy. All the best. Man, like Dr. Nick on the terrace, I'm loving that. I'm loving
Cool.
that. Next on the show, we're gonna speak to DR. What you saying, DR?
Yo. So basically, as a Chelsea fan, I had an epiphany. I've just realized. Let's talk about the whole table. Let's talk about all the teams. What my team lacks is what other teams have. My team lacks pace, power. I wouldn't say creativity because we lack creativity. We lack a lot of things. A lot of these other teams have, like United and Arsenal. I wish we played like United, and I wish we kind of played like Arsenal. I would say, but board wise, we're turning into a Liverpool. We're turning into a City. We're doing the groundworks behind the scenes a bit better, but on the pitch, we're lacking in that. And you can see not just this game, but this season. I mean, today we played well, but what we lack is consistency. And you saw what happened when Reece James is not there. These guys turn into Sunday League footballers, right? It's actually heartbreaking how a fullback is our best goal threat in terms of just like being known as danger compared to like our strikers and our forwards are supposed to be. I just wish we had the better profile of players because like I feel like other teams would with our players would cook dangerously. For example, if Man City had Jorginho would not be this Chelsea Jorginho. I refuse to believe that fundamentally these players are trash. They're just inconsistent and they have no other components to really work with.
But where you're right is this. It was only this time last year that everybody said Rashford, and we use him as an example. The bad form he was in, they said, no, it's not form. That's his level. Bruno, when he dropped off. No, Terry, this isn't bad form of Bruno. He's always been at this level. He just had a good 18 months. This is what Chelsea players are going through. Jorginho signed to play Sarri's football under Roman's ownership. You're now playing Graham Potter football with new owners. Your club is just in this situation where nobody knows what's going on, but it's a mismatch of managers' styles, different profile of players, and even different visions of two different owners, all clashing together. And you are right. The fact that you're about to sign Badashila, as an example, there are big reports from leading Argentinian journalists who, according to the Argentinians, are respected and need to be. That you're one of the leading teams for Enzo Fernandes. Equally, the biggest journalist in Argentina has said that Man United are actually leading the race for that. Who knows? But the point is, you guys are building something, but it's going to take you time to clear out 2 or 3 managers worth of players and create something new that's Potter, Todd Bowley-esque. And I agree with you. I don't think all your players are as bad as people make them out to be. It just takes time. It takes the right fit. And once they settle, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer because you've changed managers mid-season. If Potter had had it all summer, like Ten Hag did, you'd see 3 or 4 of your players that some of you guys are saying look trash, really cooking and performing right now. The fact that Cucurella under Potter at Chelsea doesn't look like Cucurella under Potter at Brighton. And it should be the case and point that it takes times on certain occasions. But listen, I love the fact that as a Chelsea fan, you want to play football like Man United. It's probably been a decade since that's been said, my friend.
This Garnacho, but let me. You know how you do the whole Tottenham, Arsenal scare me. No, Garnacho scares me. I don't like him playing. I don't like seeing him play. He is annoying. Stop playing him. He's actually annoyingly good. He does something that I think the new generation don't really do. It's simple. Just run at them, man. You run at fullbacks. Like the Premier League has the best fullbacks in the world. In my opinion, I watch other leagues. I watch Serie A. I watch the Liga. Well, I don't really watch the Liga, but I watch other leagues, and I refuse to believe that these other leagues can chat to us about defense and defending. bro, these Premier League defenders are bigger, they are faster, they are stronger, and these fullbacks that we have nurtured in this country, because we keep breaking young boys' hearts and saying you can't be a winger in this country, you have to be a fullback. These fullbacks that we have nurtured are actually insane. And when I see a Manchester United winger again, because United tend to have the best wingers like in football history, like it's like heritage. Like they always have the best wingers. When I see a Garnacho, I'm like, oh my god, don't play him, please. That guy is scary. Like Saka, Garnacho. I wish Chelsea like had wingers that could attack. Because today, if you watch this game, we had a counter attack, and it was on the right hand side. Raheem Sterling was I would say 12 feet outside the box, and Raheem Sterling decided to stop and recycle play. And when he did that, everyone was booing, and we all booed because like we can see bird's eye view. Like, yo, if you take this guy on,
you need that. I mean,
take
it
it to the
happened in the game.
byline, like please.
Malacia passed the ball backwards at one point, and the crowd hard at him, and then he passes it into Garnacho a few seconds later, and Garnacho runs, and that's what you want and need. DR, listen, thank you for coming on, bro, and having your say. The man's opening quality streets as he's chatting to us. We'll speak to you again soon, bro. Thank you very much.
Y'all got those too, right?
Oh. Yeah, man. We had a super chat here that says United still concede too many chances to get rid of David De Gea. He's still a world-class shot stopper, and he's adapting to Ten Hag's style. He's passing out from the back. He's commanding of the area, and he's sweeping. Listen, he is still one of the best shot stoppers in the world. There is no doubt about that. And thank you for that super chat, bro. Next on the show, Joshua Jack is here. What you saying, Joshua?
Good. How you guys doing today?
Good, my friend. What do you want to say?
Just another good win for the boys. I mean, top four. I think we're gonna get top four, Terry. To be honest with you, I mean, I think the only team that can stop us from getting top four is ourselves. Because you look at Tottenham, they just don't. They're hitting hope. They score a lot of goals, but they give up a lot of goals. Liverpool, I know they won yesterday, but if you play that game against Villa again, because Villa missed a lot of 5-yard chances in front of goal, they could have lost. Man United, for me, we don't give up a lot of chances, but we also control a game, which we haven't done since Ben Howell. Ben Howell, remember with Louis, we would control games, but we couldn't finish. Now we can finish and control the game. But we also still have that element under Ollie that we can have the counterattack. So we can play counterattacking or we can play possession. And I just feel like under Erik, every one of his signings have clicked. Malacia, Lissandro, Casemiro, Eriksen, Anthony, they all click. So I just think we're just clicking on this. I like the mentality in the squad right now, wanting to win, wanting to score more goals. But I also want to bring this to you regarding tomorrow's game. If Man City drop points, who would ever believe that after they beat us 6-3, we could be 4 or 3 points behind them?
If Man City lose tomorrow, United would be 3 points behind them, level on games. That would be great. I don't see them losing. If they draw, which could happen, then United would be 4 points behind behind them. Newcastle could also, they wouldn't remain if City lose. Newcastle actually remain second as well, but they've got 2 games in hand. United as well, by the way. Listen, Newcastle were killing it. They're pound for pound have been the best team this year in terms of expectations. Could argue Arsenal because they're top, but Arsenal are a massive club. Newcastle, they've actually played a game more than Man United win their game in hand. We're only a point behind Newcastle. Listen, this season, that's why I wouldn't write Man United off right now. I don't know if we'll do it. I'm really looking at Liverpool's transfer window and improvement, what Newcastle spend. And if the reports from Jamie Jackson are right and United sign nobody because we've got no money, then it's going to be really hard for us over the course of the season. But Joshua, great call, my friend. Thanks for giving us your views and opinions, mate.
Guys.
We'll chat again soon. Thank you. Andre back again here. Says, De Gea is so good. He doesn't even need his hands. Man makes sense with his chest. Yeah, that chest save didn't really make sense, but
no, it was flexing. It was flexing. That's what that was.
The thing is that what that guy said, though, I don't think it's looking at the Everton game. I think City's going to win that like 5. I really think they're going to crush them. But the game that we have to think about for City, they've got Chelsea and Tottenham in the same week, right? Like that's their double game week. I'm pretty sure they play them back to back. I could be wrong.
And then they've got Arsenal real soon.
Yeah.
as well.
So City, obviously, City's not dropping out of the top 4, but we could get some help realistically in catching up to them.
Ooh, hang on, no. So their run. Sorry to interject. So this is City have got a mad run actually.
Yeah.
So in the Premier League, City play that they're away against Leeds and then they're at home against Everton, and then it's away to Chelsea, away to Man United, at home to Tottenham. Okay, then they're at home to Wolves, and then away to Tottenham. Then they play Villa, and then they're away to Arsenal. That's all by the middle of Feb.
Yeah.
That's
So-
almost. That was crazy with that run. That could even secure them the Premier League title, or Arsenal could have a fucking 12, 13-point gap at the top of the league over them. Like, what a mad.
Well, if they beat Tottenham twice, that knocks Tottenham. That pretty much puts Tottenham out of the top. Like, right?
Yes.
Their run of games is so important to watch coming up because they could either do us a huge favor by really just removing Tottenham from the conversation. They can make their own race tighter by beating Arsenal. There's like their run is out of all the teams to watch right now. Watching that City run is going to be the most interesting, I think, when it comes to it because they control so much of what's about to happen.
Yeah,
it's going to be crazy.
No cap, yeah. This Premier League fixtures from now till like the middle of February is like box office. Like
and that's like the halfway point for us.
You know what I mean? Like this, no, literally, it will decide the league. This next few games. Now, I honestly believe it because.
But if we're being honest,
you have so many big teams face each other so quickly in a short period of time. Like,
and isn't that the halfway point technically? Because we keep forgetting we're not at
it'll be halfway in 3 games. In 3 games for Arsenal, in 3 games in Newcastle for 2. Yeah, like it'll be 18 games and it'll be halfway.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy, man.
Crazy.
This is the best league we've for us, like at least for me, for the last like whatever. The most competitive I've seen, the most parity, the most where even as much as like out of all the teams I don't want to see win the league, Liverpool and Arsenal are top 2. So it hurts me to say like Arsenal might win it this year. And I think that should be the case for every United fan. United fans who say like City's a ride drives me nuts. But like those are the 2 teams I don't want to see win it. But realistically, if Arsenal does break through and win it this year, all of a sudden we're looking at next year and you don't know who's going to win it. We can't say Arsenal's going to win back to back. You can't say Newcastle's going to be there because all the spending is going to happen. And we're about to see, I hope, this is my hope, is that I kind of want us to get João Felix in the transfer market because I don't want Arsenal to get him personally. That's like a big thing for me. It's like if he's on loan and you can get him on loan or for whatever it is, then stop Arsenal from getting him because if he goes there on loan and he bangs, guess what? They'll buy him. Like I get there's no obligation, but they'll buy him.
Yeah, but what they'll be, my opinion is anyone who gets him on loan is going to put an option to buy him, which means they control the situation because no one's going to give him a loan, pay 8 million plus 300 grand a week, give or take in salary, and then just to have Atletico at the end of it or another club at the end of it go, well, we're going to bid 100 million and buy him, and the player goes, actually, I'd rather go there or. What would have to happen is whoever gets him on loan is going to control the situation. To have a first refusal at set price, no matter what anybody else bids. And equally, if we put a bid in, you have to reject everybody else's. That's how I would do it. I'd say, listen, Atty, we'll take him on loan, we'll pay it, but we want a price set now at say it's 100 million. But no matter what anybody else bids, unless they bid double it or something stupid, you have to reject it and accept ours. At least then you know you're pretty much guaranteed him. That's kind of what's got to happen here. But we'll see what happens.
Arsenal, do you care? If you're Arsenal, Terry, if it wins you the league, do you care if you don't get him at the end of the day? You win the league. You're kind of like,
I think you do. I think you do because even though Arsenal want to win the league, football is continuous. It doesn't end at the end of next year. Imagine you sign a player on loan. Say United sign him and he gets us a top 4 position and he wins us the FA Cup and the helps us massively win the FA Cup and the Europa League, and we're looking dangerous with him, and then Chelsea just buy him for 120 million. Suddenly he's line up against you next year. That for me, I know that winning the Premier League different to winning those 2 trophies, but that would hurt so much. Did you get where I'm coming from? That would you'd almost I wouldn't want my club doing that. You'd have to want them to do it. And the whole we don't have money thing, I'm gonna address that tomorrow on the terrace to keep your eyes open for that. Obviously, I don't do transfer talk when the games are on per se because we focus on that. But there we go. Listen, viewers, I appreciate you all tuning in and having your say. We're back tomorrow with transfer talk in the morning and early afternoon. The top 6 show at 5 p.m. tomorrow, and then of course reacting to Leeds United versus Manchester City as well. Do us a big favor and smash the like button. Subscribe to the Football Terrace before you leave today as well as get this stream past at least 500 likes. That would be amazing. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again